Hello there, this is the Strife and Grimbone walkthrough continuing on our quest to finish a module in Foundry VTT for the Pathfinder 2nd edition game system. I'm your genial guide through the morass of this module creation. Last time we had nearly got to the end of the cultist crypts. We just needed to do the last room, but what we had done was complete the exploration of the cultist leaders' quarters. What we need to do first, I think, though, is something I've been neglecting for a long time, and that is to save our work. If you remember right back to the beginning of this series, I was showing how you can create a module suitable for export that you could use as a kind of pristine version of the game if you want to run the same adventure more than once, or if you want to export the game to others. And if you recall, we had in our compendium packs Strife and Grimbone the module, and this is one of the modules that we loaded to affiliate with this world. If we go into the manage modules, we see that the module Strife and Grimbone walkthrough module is ticked. It's one of the modules associated with the world, but that association is of a module that's very much just the beginning of the adventure. We need to update the module with all the information that we've collected. This will include the references to the scenes, but not the actual image or documents themselves. That goes in a separate modules folder. And the actors, the items, journal entries, and so we go back to the compendium pack, click on this, and then we see it opening up here. We'll close that, and we see the Strife and Grimbone adventure. So we left click it. This is so that we could start a new adventure using the module. We would have that adventure there because it's come from the module, and then we would click that to transport all the information from the module into the world. We don't want to do that, we want to update it. So we'll right click it and then rebuild the adventure. Our summary is unchanged, but our contents need to be updated. This is all we had before. A few of the creatures from the very beginning, a little bit of loot, some items that we found in Pendaka, a few journal entries just going out to the entrance of the Ashwood, and the scenes, some of the scenes. So we've got a lot to update. So we'll do it in order that they appear on the tabs here. Let's do the scenes first. So if we transport a folder, all the contents automatically get transported. So we'll do chapter 1 Pendaka, unchanged. Chapter 2 Ashwood, we can see the new scenes. Like I said, this is the information, like the locations of sands, lights, and the walls and tile locations. The actual documents themselves are manually placed in the folders. I've shown you that before. So these are the extra scenes there, and Grimbone is completely new, and the cultist crypts is completely new there. The next one is the actors. We don't need to transport the party. Creatures, a lot more creatures than before. Hazards, that's a completely new folder. Loot, more loot. Placed items. What was this? This is the light, I think. Yeah, this is just what if we wanted to leave a torch in a stationary location. We might also have a placed item for a light spell placed in a stationary location if they wanted to do that. Anyway, there's the torch there, and now that's just if you want to import a store for buying and selling stuff. Then we got the items. Journal entries. Introduction should be unchanged. And if these have been modified, they'll be updated. Chapter 1 unchanged. Chapter 2. Lots more entries. Chapter 3. And Chapter 4. And PC information. May as well do that as well. So some of it would be unique if you're doing a PC journal. Some of that would be unique. But because these are more just for information, we would have them there. I think that was like a trial thing. So there we go, and then we simply do build adventure. Successfully updated. So now the module is going to be updated. If we exported that and if we affiliated that module with a completely new world, we would be back at, we would have all the information in here, but with a pristine module where we hadn't sort of done any combats or moved any of the tokens, etc. So back to the adventure creation now. Cultist crypt encounters. Cultist leaders quarters, right. I think we should add something here. I think we should give a story XP award, both because they deserve it, and also because it kind of emphasizes to the PC that this was their main quest. They needed to find this mask, which apparently allows them to penetrate illusions that will in turn allow them to find this lost city from dating back from Thessalonian times. So we'll add a story XP. So we have a new system here of having the journal here and the editor above it. And we also need to find something to copy. There. We copy from the editor, not the journal entry, and put that there. Can't click on the right bit. That's a heading 2. That's a heading 2. Let's make it a heading 3. Award the party XP for discovering should do, and maybe we can just change it here. I think it's nicer to do it here. Yeah, and it defaults to XP, 80 XP, calling it moderate. So that's that. So the players, the PCs, controlled by the players, could just leave now, but they might be tempted to see what's over here. also they might be tempted by all these allusions to the rune well from the various texts that they've discovered. And about what happened to the cultists who successfully were faithful, and what happened to the cultist leader who apparently has undergone some surgery upon himself. So the vestibule. Doing our formatting. The passage opens out here into a 15-foot square chamber. 2 large braziers flank the entrance to this area. They appear to contain glowing molten gold, but emanate no heat. A 10-foot wide passage leads off this area to the east. The molten gold effect is simply an illusion and does not harm nor is of any value. The illusion can be recognized as such on a DC 20 perception check. Again, we just ask the players to click the macro now instead of sending it to chat. An object or hand placed within an empty brazier is unaffected and the illusion persists. Wearing the cultist mask may reveal the illusion and reveal the mask's function. So that's a nice clue to the players as to what they've found. Shall we link the cultist mask here? Yeah, let's link it here. So we click that and it'll bring up the mask. Running along the eastward passage, I don't capitalize eastward, are frescoes in gold. They tell a pictorial history of the cult who built these crypts, commencing with the cataclysm that all but destroyed an ancient Thessalonian city. Earthquakes created a huge area of subsidence surrounding the city, and waters came in to flood it, resulting in a dismal swamp where shining towers once stood. Guess where the PCs are going next. It appears from stylized maps that the city once stood very close in Varissia to where the PCs are now, perhaps even within the Ashwood. The pictures then tell of the various factions that fought for dominion over the submerged ruins. The followers of the ruin of Avarice, who worshipped Lasala, clearly what was to become the cult that built these crypts from the way the frescoes glorify them, would have been victorious were it not for an army of beast-folk slaves, magically created from lowly animals by the degenerate followers of the rune of Sloth. The cult of Avarice was forced to flee, hiding in these crypts, while in a twist of fate, the beast-folk turned on the Thessalonians and ruled the city ruins themselves. The cult awaits a time when its members can arise in a transformed and pure form, we wonder what that is, to take back the city and rebuild it for the glory of Lasala. That's that. And the next is the entrance to the rune well. Wide golden double doors block the passage as it turns to the south. On them are embossed images of a seven-bladed star knife. To either side are images of fiery glaives, tilted with wickedly barbed blades pointed inward. The doors are unlocked, but trapped. The blades are actually real, covered by illusion to appear as decorations, and swing down to strike anyone in the 5-foot square north of them, so a creature is only struck by one glaive. One for one there, one for one there. So again, if they're wearing the mask and using the mask, may more easily discover this trap. So let's detail the trap now. Actors, hazards. I think maybe we'll start from scratch, shall we? Swinging glaive. It's a hazard. Oh, swinging. Unlock it for editing. So we're going at hazard level 5. It's simple, and we can have the traits mechanical, trap. So the idea is that if the Pathfinder 2nd edition system is working well, if say a character has a bonus to find traps, like I don't know, maybe a dwarf has a bonus to do that, and it might pick up that it's got the trap trait, and so would give them the bonus. And then finally, illusion. And the stealth DC is 26. We put 16 here because I always seems to recognise it as a plus. And then when you press enter, oh, it didn't this time. Maybe it does that for complex traps. We'll keep an eye on that, make sure it mysteriously doesn't change to 36. And it's going to be expert. And we'll have a note. Plus 10 perception if wearing the cultist mask. Description. Well, just copy some text here. Disable. Deformat that. Routine's not relevant because it's a simple trap. Reset. Right. Actions. So we have what did you call it? A melee. glaive strike, details, plus 19. I generally set these from the game mastery guide, where it sets where you build up a hazard and it gives you the recommended statistics for the level of the hazard. And a damage. Slashing. And that's it. I think we'll have a ability just to clarify what the trigger is and everything is normally the case. So we have a reaction. Should be fairly explanatory, even self-explanatory. Trait, an attack, it's got the attack trait. And then we'll do a note. Just to clarify, there's no multiple attack penalties. They attack independently. Yeah, so we've got a trap trigger, and then there's a melee strike, so you can easily just do the stats there. Let's see how that goes. So we have a swinging glaive. Put it in the middle, maybe like there. Because it's a token. Oh, that's alright. So, need to change the token name because of the spelling mistake. Once again. Right, so choose a victim, someone with a lot of hit points, Sealer. I'm afraid you're up. And the swinging glaive selects Sealer as the target for its reaction. And it's going to strike her. And do the damage. Okay, and because it's a token here, I don't think it recognizes if you're using animations. I don't think it recognizes that. So what we can do is create our own sound effect from a macro. So we go to the macros here. What can we copy? Scream in the night, because I think it was just a sound. and it's the right module, and I think I called it Halberd Swing. Bit louder maybe. And let's try that. Save that. Nice. They're going to hear that, aren't they? Now let's... Where should we put it in here? The trap trigger there. Let's edit it. Let's make sure we're editing the master copy. Right, let's see if it works. Here comes the glaive. Clicking on it. Trap trigger actions. And then play the swinging glaive trap for the swinging sound. Good. And we'll just go back to making that invisible to start off with. Trap is done. See, I can't see very much. It's dark. And shall we do some labeling? Go into labels. J11. J12. You might think, why did I do a separate entry, journal entry for there and there? If you do a journal entry for the room itself, you forget, you just go in, open the door, and the players describe the room, and then think, oh whoops, I forgot the trap. So that's why I have a separate journal entry. Otherwise you'd have to put it maybe at the beginning of the journal entry, and sometimes people don't read things very carefully. Having the label there is going to make the GM look at it before opening the door, hopefully. Look like teeth there, don't they, on a lower row of teeth. And then the final one is the Rune Well of Avarice. Now we've created it, we can label it. Okay, big description here. The golden doors swing inward to reveal a large chamber with a lofty ceiling. A narrow 5-foot wide walkway runs of the usual marble rune-decorated floor surrounds a deep chasm. A broad 20-foot square column stands in the centre of the chasm, its flat top 5 feet above your level. Broad steep steps lead up to this platform. In the centre of the platform is a low well that glows with intense heat, uncomfortable even from this distance. The golden light arising from the well illuminates an object floating above it. This object seems to be a glass sphere of clear amber liquid, and within the sphere, golden sparks dancing across its forward surface appears to be a human brain. We wonder whose brain that is. However, your attention is distracted by hisses coming from the walkway. In the shadows cast by the golden light, you can make out a number of very tall humanoid forms. You see that they are horribly emaciated, with only 3 clawed digits on each of their 4 limbs. Veins like liquid, flowing gold stand out in rune-like patterns upon their pale, hairless flesh. Their disgusting mouths have split lower jaws with rows of sharp teeth, and a tongue that also has 3 clawed digits. And we need to show a picture of that, I think. But I'm just going to read and investigate. I thought that this platform was lower than the surrounding walkway, and I just need to check if that will have some impact on the game. I'll be back in a second. So welcome back. I had changed the map here to make the platform above rather than below the walkway. I did this for the tactics of combat to make it a bit of a challenge to jump up onto the central platform rather than it being too easy jumping below, as we'll see when we describe it. I had to change the video file as well because that overlays the JPEG. I took the opportunity to take some screenshots in Dungeon Alchemist, and so at the entrance to the rune well, and I have a picture with the glaives there, and in the rune well I have a picture of the central area with the brain of the cultist, and the well there with the steps coming up to the raised platform now. So on that rune well of avarice, we'd done the description, and then I described that the sin spawn prepared by the cultist leader from his acolytes have stood dormant for millennia, but they have recently become fully formed by reactivation of the well, due to the emanations of greed from the ashwood above, in particular from the residents of Grimbone and visitors from Pendaka. Some were obscured, some of the sin spawn obscured by the central column. So I've got sin spawn of greed here, which I created. So this is the Pathfinder 1st edition creation, which I adapted. It has a sinful bite ability, where a creature hit by the jaws of the sin spawn must attempt a DC 18 will save, as it is assailed by sinful thoughts, and these are the features or the conditions to which one might be susceptible, depending on the will save. Sickened, you get rid of by retching, or in this case, you would sort of mentally refocus yourself by spending an action and making a flat check, and for the clumsy, you have to specify a time, because that's not automatically got rid of by retching or the equivalent. And the sin spawn combat tactics. Before rolling for initiative against the sin spawn, roll a separate DC 20 perception check for each PC. On a success, PCs see a large, unmoving shape on the platform in the gloom behind the well. On a critical success, they see that it appears to be mechanical and made of gold. This is the new body of the cultist leader, controlled by the brain above the well. The body needs 5 rounds to animate, drawing energies from the rune well. In the meantime, the sin spawn attack. If there is a PC who the GM thinks displays Mark's tendency to avarice, and we all know that those players in our parties, or who is carrying some stolen silver from this crypt, the Sinspawn snarl at them and give them particular attention. The Sinspawn do not attempt to jump on the platform, but move around the walkway, potentially causing congestion. They attack with glaives from reach. Note the reactor strike if PCs move rather than step within 5 feet. If a PC is within 5 feet, they bite instead, and the Sinspawn behind can attack using reach at -1 for lesser cover from his fellow. They move on the platform if no PCs remain on the walkway. And I have a macro here for cover. If you click that, you need to select a token. So let's use that as an opportunity to put down the Sinspawn. So we've got one there, one there, one there, one there, one there, and one there, 6 of them. So we select a Sinspawn, and we can see level of cover, so we select lesser, and they've got lesser cover, or rather the PC would have lesser cover if they're using their glaive to strike when there's another Sinspawn in the way. Gone. So let's make them obscured till the GM's ready to reveal them. And next is to deal with the golem, which the PCs may think of as a statue. So we'll have a tile for that. Just a background, I think. Don't seem to have the tile there, maybe I've got it under tokens. That's the one I'm going to use for the token. That's the one I'm going to use for the tile. For the tile, yeah. Must shrink that. Yeah, choose a front versus back. I think I'm going to rotate it around. Tile, basic things, rotation. That's the tile there. And we'll make it invisible first. So if the PC see it, we'll just make it visible like that. Right, gold golem, or on the platform, we'll put down on the platform. this has a bit more room. So, PCs on the platform automatically see the cultist leader's body, which is a gold golem. When not yet activated, the golem is paralyzed, flat-footed and cannot act. Heat emanation from the rune well anywhere on the platform deals 1d6 fire damage at the end of each round. The golem is immune to this, so let's do that. So it's persistent fire damage, isn't it? D6. I think we do fire persistent like that. That's not worked. Do one more try. Persistent. I keep trying. 1d60, what's going on there? Oh dear. Ah, there we go, at last. It's just that I couldn't type properly. So we dragged that onto the players. To jump up to the pit instead of taking the steps requires a jump rather than a leap because it is both 5 feet away and 5 feet up. This is a DC 30 athletics check requiring 2 actions with a 10-foot run-up. As DC 30 seems a bit hard. Maybe that's the rules. We can always change the rules. I think it's DC 20 is more. DC 25. Requiring 2 actions with a 10-foot run-up. I think it's to make it DC 20. They're using up 2 actions. Capital. Athletics. On a success, a PC lands feet first. On a fail, they may make a DC 15 grab an edge. See, so let's make it 25, because failure is not too bad. So, they can choose reflex save and acrobatics as normal for grab an edge. Right, athletics, reflex, we'll have to specify grab an edge. In the text. Alternatively, a PC may choose not to bother to try and land up on a platform, but take a one action automatically leap without a run up and make a DC 15 grab an edge attempt. So they're just not trying to jump onto the platform, they're just trying to jump to get their hands on the platform. When the golem is activated after 5 rounds, it lumbers jerkily to melee range and strikes with its fists. If the opportunity presents itself, it uses inexorable march to push a PC into the rune well filled with molten gold, or off the edge of the platform. PCs may make a double again. To grab hold of the platform, or try and land on the lower walkway instead. What was the DC of that? Was it easier? Yeah. From the platform, the fall is a bit higher. Yeah, more things there, so reflex action, grabbing in. That all seems to be working. Platform. Falling into the rune well bathes the PC in molten gold. They take 18d6 fire damage on immersion, and at the end of each of the victim's rounds thereafter. that's not pleasant. And then add that to persistent. Let's just make this briefer. Obviously until they get out, you can just stop it there. When the golem is damaged, it can take a special action. A spout of molten gold rises up to bathe the glass sphere containing the brain, and then shoots forth over the golem to a maximum range of 15 feet. This regenerates 2d4 damage. The golem will regenerate after being brought to 0 hit points and dying status at the beginning of its next turn. So just leave it untyped there. Whoops. And then we'll just press the heal button there to heal instead of. Okay, now let's do the stats for the golem. A new creature, gold golem. It's an NPC. There we are. And its level is 7. It's medium. Let's make this a bit smaller then. We'd take it, no, maybe 200. And it's unique, it's medium, it's a construct. So you picked up that adamantine short sword, golem, mindless, because his mind is the brain. Okay, perception, rubbish, 7. Dark vision, skills is only one skill, and because it's pushing people, it's athletics, and it's a good one. 16. And we've got ability strength 7, dex 2, con 5, int -5, wisdom 0, charisma -5, AC 24. We'll do the saves first. Fortitude 20, reflex 10, will 10, but it's mindless, so tough. Hit points 90, immunities. So automatically populated this because we set a golem. Let's have a look at this. We want to add fire. Bleed, death effects, disease, doomed, drained, fatigued, fire, healing, mental, non-lethal attacks, paralyzed, poison, sickened, spirit, unconscious, fatality, void. Yep. And then it's got magic, so which will specify. Right, golem anti-magic. So passive. Harmed by acid. 5d8, 3d4 from area or persistent damage. Oops. From area or persistent damage. Healed by molten gold. Slowed by electricity. So golems, any spell that's got acid in it will do that damage, depending if it's targeted or area effect or persistent. They're healed by molten gold, which is not normally a spell, but that's because of the effect that we've already described about the brain, and it's slowed by electricity instead of taking damage, which is very useful. So we'll have slowed. So you can just put that condition on. I thought I'd done that wrong. Let's do it again. edit it. There's an ampersand at the beginning. That's better. That's different. (2d4) and untyped. Golem anti-magic done. Vulnerable to dispelling. The golem can be targeted by disjunction and dispel magic. If targeted by any such spell, the golem has its resistance to physical damage lowered to 0 and is slowed 1 for 1d4 rounds. Speed, just 10 feet. And I forgot to add resistances. 5 of type physical. Exceptions, adamantine. It's melee attack. Is a fist. Which has the trait of nothing. Details. Plus 16. Adding near damage. 2d8 plus 8. Bludgeoning. That's all we have to say about that. And then inexorable march, which I alluded to when talking about the PCs on the platforms. That's not gone right. Inexorable march. It's a one action. Yep. It's an offensive one. The gold golem strides up to its speed, pushing back each creature it's only 10 feet, whose space it moves into and damaging them if they try and stop its movement. A creature can attempt to bar the way by succeeding at a DC 22 Fortitude save. On a critical success, the resisting creature takes no damage, otherwise it is damaged as if hit by the golem's fist. So you block it by doing that if you're successful, and you don't even take any damage if you're critically successful. And that's the abilities of the golem. Let's do the image. Yep. And tokenize it. We'll have it gold like the others, the frame I'm referring to, and runic. That's it, headless. Lumbers forward. Okay, we need to do a macro for this to convert the golem into the token. So we have the bring the gold. Gold golem there, and here as well. Invisible at first. I've seen that we're going to have to make this visible. To swap them. But they might not notice it behind the rune well. Let's see, what have we got here? I haven't done the walls yet. I'm going to do those later, but I think I will have a green wall there to obscure the golem. So you can assume, rather than watching me do the walls, you can assume that they've been done. Right. So on with the macro. What one can we copy? I think we'll have a copy this shape change one. Gold column activates. So we need a token, constant token. We don't need more than one. And let's get the token. So the token is this thing, the actor to which it belongs is that. So the token that one's been identified as somewhat differently. But we just want to make the token visible and invisible. Let me just have a think about this. Okay, I've done that. I used one of my other modules and copied from that. I identified the tile by double clicking on it, the tile there, and then the token, the tile's tag is there, and then I identified the token and created a speech, and then created a sound, and this is what it's like. So that disappears and that becomes visible. And so we will just attach that into the journal. Right, here we are. I think we need another arrow. another line there. Good. Obviously click it again, it goes back again. That's the way we want to start. Right. So we described that the only way to defeat the golem would be to break the glass sphere holding the controlling brain. Maybe we should have a descriptive text. Write some text here. Mechanic. Right. You hear a noise of metal bars, metal gears, and turn to see the mechanical contraption behind the room whirring into life and lumbering jerkily forwards. Though it has no head, you can clearly tell that it senses your presence as intruders. Again, it's a clue that the object there is actually the brain of the controlling the golem. The brain. Is to destroy the brain. PCs need to break the glass sphere holding the controlling brain. The fluid will drain out and the brain will wither and die. The sphere is above the well and 10-foot reach is required for melee attacks. Area damage may affect the sphere, and brain and mental attacks directed against the brain, not the golem, will affect it normally. We'll do the stats for the brain. sphere. We know it as the cultist leader's brain. I think what we'll do is make it a hazard. The sphere it's a hazard, and it'll give it object immunities, and we need hit points at 60. And its hardness is 5. And we know that adamantine is immune to that. Its armor class is 20. And its saves are fortitude 16, reflex 7 because it can't dodge, will 18. That's all we need about the brain. Perception plus 7, so we'll give it start DC of 17. Nope, it stays. $17. Okay. Might have a section on what happens if you push the golem down the pit there, which I'm sure you've already thought of. So we'll change the picture. I think we'll use that image that we had before. Rune of the rune well. And then we'll make a token. Add a frame, the usual golden one to match the others. Get rid of that frame. Let's expand this. Oh, it won't move. Come on. Okay, before I go insane, I'm just going to do this later. So that concludes this chapter. I'll go and spend half a frustrating hour trying to drag a mass. Thank you for your attention, and hope to see you next time. Thank you. Bye.